we are building a Web3 operating system for enterprise and financial services. We're here to help organizations secure, manage, and automate any treasury, risk, and trading operations instantly. The crypto market has been growing very aggressively, growing to $3 trillion just this past year. And this growth is primarily driven by institutions. 58% of them have invested in cryptocurrency. But despite that, there's so much interest coming from institution side. And then there's a pretty straightforward way for them to engage with crypto via CeFi or TradFi. Interacting with anything on-chain still remains to be very, very challenging. And why is that? There are a few different reasons. Well, first of all, this market operates on 24/7 hour basis. What that means is that it requires continuous human oversight or a continuous monitoring system. You need engineering resources. It's a very, very volatile market, and then so what that means is that you actually need to have very robust mechanism to react to any market condition. Ecosystem hacks also happen all the time. And so it's also non-trivial to set up safety guardrail that tailor to smart contract or protocol. And lastly, it still remains to be a fairly challenging process to interact with any DeFi products or go through any DeFi workflow. And specifically for this reason, we have created Fountain. And Fountain is a platform that allows these organizations to manage any kind of on-chain workflow in one place. We have innovated and created the first ever no-code workflow builder for the Web3 industry. And this no-code builder allows our users to be able to utilize if this then that logic builder to be able to trigger any on-chain action and then to be able to create any kind of on-chain workflows. And then so let's bring up the demo. Okay, so the user will be able to leverage any kind of data source to create a condition, and then they will be able to interact and then trigger one or multiple on-chain actions. It will go through an approval process, and then users basically will be able to manage any kind of such kind of workflows in one place. And with this workflow builder, it doesn't require users to have to provide additional signatures when conditions happen. It basically will get executed automatically. Now, a lot of our customers are leveraging these workflow builders to tackle 3 categories of use cases. From something as basic as treasury operation, account rebalancing, portfolio management, right? In a context of margin trading, what do you worry about? You worry the most about account liquidation. So you will be able to build workflow that basically will track your balance number, right? Will price data, and then when condition is met, it will automatically acquire specific asset and top up your account. You can also utilize the workflow builder to be able to create any kind of safety guardrail. So in the context of providing liquidity for a specific token pair, right? What do you care the most about? You care about DPEG situation. So you will be able to create a condition that basically will be able to track the pricing of a specific stable coin. And when DPEG situations start happening, it can trigger a series of action to automatically remove your liquidity position, swap the asset into alternative stable coin, and then transfer the asset to a specific vault. You can also use the workflow builder to be able to automate any kind of like trading strategy and then to achieve any sort of arbitrage. And the platform that we have built out basically is a smart contract-based middleware solution. And then so what that means is that the smart contract basically is managing any of these workflows. There's zero downtime and our users have absolute ownership. We also have a native non-custodian multi-sig mechanism, and that is universally compatible with any kind of like custody signing solutions from Fireblock, MetaMask, Ledger. And lastly, we also have built out a on-chain native policy engine, and our organization will be able to use this policy engine to much more granularly control how their users will be able to interact with any protocol or dApps down to the function level. Overall, Fountain enables organizations to save time managing any on-chain operations, stay safe interacting with any DeFi products and protocols out there, and gain alpha by being able to engage with much more sophisticated DeFi products and engage with much more complex DeFi strategy. I spent the past 10 years of my career in the enterprise B2B space as an engineer, founder, and venture investor. I started investing in the no-code space back in 2018 with a few portfolios. And so I basically am bringing my expertise from the Web 2 of no-code, low-code space and then bring these innovations to Web 3. We have a small team based in New York City, and we recently announced our round this past week. We are currently in private beta, serving a few largest market makers and hedge funds out there. We're here helping our users set up any workflows end-to-end, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Morgan. We're going to dive straight into Q&A now with the judges. Thank you.
Thanks. I was curious, do you have plans or maybe a reason not to offer like centralized exchange management as well for like the hedge funds that'll have exposures on-chain and as well as centralized exchanges?
Yeah, I think the centralized exchange part of the workflow has been managed and done pretty well by custody solution, let's say Fireblocks, et cetera. And then so the gap that we're seeing in the market is basically interacting with anything on-chain. And that is also a reason why that we make a very intentional technical decision to build this entire product natively on smart contract.
Thanks, good answer. Yeah.
What are the use cases that the market makers that you mentioned that are using this private beta are using this for?
Yeah, one of the most common use cases is actually account rebalancing, like being able to rebalance their trading account or even just like internal accounts to start with. And then after that, a lot of these funds basically also have their staking position, liquidity position, whatnot. They will also utilize the platform to help with implementing safety guardrails.
And for the rebalancing, they're actually swapping on assets on chain to rebalance. And
so,
are you just using like a DEX or?
Yeah. So for account rebalancing, the workflow is actually very simple. They're basically just tracking the balance, right? If the balance fall down to a specific position, they basically just want to be able to do automatic transfer.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the institutional side, I think they're obviously excited about crypto as a whole. They've been relatively slow to do things on-chain, and part of that has mostly because the skepticism around on-chain safety and smart contract risk. How do you mitigate that for institutions?
Yeah, it's a pretty complex problem to kind of like tackle. Like for instance, they care a lot about, let's say, counterparty risk, or like they care a lot about, let's say, when they are engaging with specific liquidity pool, they want to make sure there is no questionable liquidity coming from specific kind of like account. And then so for different kind of like open question, sometimes we need to like leverage like Chainlink's data to help them be able to evaluate the counterpart of the protocol that they are looking to engage with. But overall, it's a pretty complex kind of like problem that we need to tackle in different angles.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.